What up, Dale? And welcome to Free for All Friday, man. You know how the song goes. It's Friday, then hey, it's Saturday, Sunday. Well, it is Free for All Friday. Welcome, everyone. Unfortunately, Queen of the Proud, Valerie Bordeaux, will not be here today. She's a little under the weather today, but I got the rest of our crew that hangs out on Friday. Stay tuned. You never know who might pop in, but I got the Maniac Tim coming in, co-creator of Detroit Lions of the Proud. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm glad it's Friday.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad
man.
to be on here. Looking forward to the training camp coming up and everything that's going forward.
And show him your shirt, man. Show him your shirt. I want to, man, check it out, man. Maniac Tim has his own site, so check him out. Maniac Sports over there on YouTube, man. He does his thing. So go over there and check out Maniac Tim's channel. It's a great time over there. You have some fun. And he doing some big things over there with Maniac Tim Sports over there. Maniac Sports. I got to bring in my LNU stable mate, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Micro Mike. How you doing, my man?
Man, I'm living the dream, but I must say, Maniac Tim has the best shirt and the best avatar for a YouTube channel. I checked it out, subscribed. Man. He is legit. Make sure you subscribe to Maniac Tim. When this dude gets hype, folks, I'm telling you, it's over.
He's a maniac. He fits that bill perfectly. And this coming in, he's got the egg right now. But we haven't talked to this guy in a month of Sundays, I swear. For sweet Christmas, it's my man, Luke G of Luke G's Fear Review. How you doing, my man?
Hey, salute, Kirk. Salute, family. Hey, I caught the sweet Christmas reference. That's what's up. I respect that.
you know if y'all know about Luke G, man. If you don't know about Luke G, you don't know about my man over there, man. Hey, that sweet Christmas is something else, man. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you need to go over there and find out. Let's say hello to the crew. All right. He says, Waverly Wakey, wake up with Sergeant Major still. I was not a Sergeant Major, but I did. It was a Sergeant Major in my field in the Army. And the Detroit Lions and the Proud family. Wakey, eggs and bakey. Time for Free for All Friday, man. Good morning from the West Coast. One pride, biting some kneecaps. Good looking out, Grand Year 12. My man said, put the coffee down. Good morning to Dan Spanos as well, man. A liner of douchebaggy. Coffee sounds good. Be right back. She said she could be right back. All right. Brian Stover's in the building. What's going on? Dr. Detroit D says, what up, though, family? It's Friday and one day closer to football season. Man, you guys realize it. You know, today is the 8th. And on the 26th, the rookies report for training camp, and then the 30th is the actual veterans. That's when the training camp starts for the Lions. We are less than a month away from the start of training camp. Man, it looks good, man. Oh, okay. Luke said, Detroit D says, what up, Luke? What up, Mike? What's going on? Speaking to the panel, man. Luke, what you been up to, man, before we get to this content? We haven't talked to you in a while, my brother. What you been up to, my man?
Dude, work. They just listen. I can't stress this enough, people. If I run across another person who say there's no work out here, you're full of crap. Everybody's hiring, especially where I work at, and I hope people apply because the mandation is too real for me. So I just been working, man, and then when I'm off work, obviously I got to put my time in as a dad and a husband. So I put that time in with the family and do it. And I was able to go live, I think, once last week. And then the next day I got held over again. I was like, hey, unfortunately, this is the nature of the beast.
Well, welcome back to the stage, man. We appreciate you hanging out with us. All right, Roddy Troy says, keep it raw, 100, fellas. Hey, man, you know what we're going to do. We're going to keep it live and popping right here on the channel, man. My man says, Joe Sprader says, let's go Lions. Okay, let's go. Let's go. John Doe is in the building, says, good morning, family. What up, Doe? What's going on, man? Mark Malek says, Dan Spanos, happy Friday. So happy Friday to everyone in the chat. Now let's get into some of these questions, man. You know I had to bring in some decent questions for today. We're going to talk about some Lion stuff, getting us ready, getting closer and closer. But Luke G, I took this question from you specifically, so I want you to answer it first, right? So What are your thoughts on Dan Campbell being ranked the third worst coach in the NFL by CBS Sports?
I love it because it's bulletin board material. I think that if you want respect, you have to take it. And if they don't want to give you the respect, it's that's cool. I understand that many people are going to look at that list and see that, oh, you got all these people ahead of him who's been a coach longer than him and has not been succeeding and stuff. I get it. But you have to understand that he's the head coach of the Detroit Lions, and it's a team that has not had much success. And it's a team that, ironically, is going to get overlooked. It's one of the reasons why people like me, Mike, Kurt, all of us are out here talking about this, because the reality is this. These are the same people who said that the Lions were going to lose and not be good, and they gave reasons like roster and injuries. And now he's the worst coach because he went 3-13-1. These are the narratives that they're going to push, and I want the fan base to see this. I want them to see the level of disrespect. I want them to embrace this. They don't have to like you, but you can make them love you, and that's the thing about it. And that's, for me, I love it. Let him be the third worst head coach. Great.
Right. I feel you on that one. I answered your question. You posted this question on Twitter, I believe, and I said the same. I was like, well, I think it has more to do with his record last year and if it was, well, you got these coaches that are never coached before, and new head coaches are above him. Okay, he went 3-13-1 his first season. What the narrative that's lost in that is that what happened during the season, you lose in 3 games, you know what I'm saying, the first team in NFL history to lose 3 games on walk-off field goals, right? I mean, like, you look at some of the things that happened in the season, all the injuries that we had in the season that Dan Campbell and his staff and the team fought all season. Do I think that makes him a higher than the third worst coach? Yes. Do I understand why they ranked him right there? Yes. They're looking at, what have you done for me lately? And 3-13-1 does not get you a high ranking on a list like this. It is what it is. I think it's a bunch of propaganda. People make lists all the time. Do I buy into a lot of lists? Absolutely not. It's more fun to buy into when it's a positive list than it is a negative, but it is what it is. I mean, do I really care? Absolutely not. Do I think he's better than that? Yes, I think he is. But I mean, I understand the ranking. What you got, Marco Mike, on this Dan Campbell being the third worst coach?
You know, I'm wrong. I thought he was a good coach. So now after reading that, I know that he's not a good coach. He's the third worst coach in the NFL. And, I mean, they also said, like, Matt Patricia was a really good coach when we signed him, and he was going to lead the Lions to the playoffs and win a playoff game. So I stand corrected. Dan Campbell's a terrible coach. We need to have rocket scientists as a head coach because that really works. So, yeah, look, man, I don't care what CBS Sports said. It starts with CBS. There's a reason why there's a BS at the end of it. It's exactly what it is. Hey, it could be bullet board material, whatever you want to call it. But it's also, I don't care. The season starts here real soon, and they can take that CBS and put it down their 2 points contact.
Okay, I feel you on that one. All right, my man, Maniac Tim. Just your thoughts right quick. He gonna make, give me some Maniac on this thing right here.
Okay. Well, you gotta look at who's speaking. I mean, this is CBS, like Mike says, BS, and we all know what BS stands for. It's another word for a line of crap. All right. For years, we have been underrated, even when you have stats up. I mean, look at when we had Matthew Stafford. His stats were great, but he never got the rating that he really deserved. He deserved to be one of those probably top 3 quarterbacks, but they would go ahead and, because you're lying, because the one stat that really matters to some people is the wins and losses. And until you can get there, then you're not going to get the respect that he really deserved. Is he the third? Is he only the third best coach in the worst coach in the league? Hell no. Double hell no. He is a lot better than that, and I think he's just going to prove it.
Okay, Maniac Tim with the double HE double hockey sticks a note on that thing. So that's what I'm talking about right there. So let's see what you guys definitely have to say in the chat, because you know it goes down in the chat right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. We got my man Drew Forsyth in the building. What's up? What's up, Drew? What's going on? The Dr. Detroit says hello, Lionor. He's talking to Nicole Lionor, or I can call her Lady Lionor of Douche Bagia. How we doing out there with the crew? It's just one of those things, man. He says the only thing that counts on Sunday is winning games. Raw Detroit, my man, I hear what you're saying, and that's why that he was put on this list so far down. Yeah.
But it's a bit of a double standard. It's still a bit of a double standard because, like I said, they all predicted them to have a trash record. And now he's the worst coach because he met the prediction that you had. But you're not taking the context of, all the injuries, all the little things that we're just not going to take into context. I mean, this comes from the person who's basically telling you, if he wins 3 games this year, he got to be gone. This is the guy telling you that. Yeah. But I'm also looking at
about Patricia. Gave him.
Oh, listen, I said Patricia should have been fired year 1. I got my butt handed to me. That whole 2, 3, how many 2.5 seasons? I got my butt handed to me for saying he should have been fired year 1. All I kept hearing is it takes 3 years. And with Campbell, I don't see a guy who was going to take 3 years. I thought that they lost more games than they should have, but I think that they were closer than people thought. And I think this year, even with an easier schedule, it'll reflect in the record. But, third worst head coach, I mean, cool. But it's a bit of a double standard.
But Matt Patricia, he's one of the best head coaches when we signed him.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't know where that one came from. When you starting Tavon Wilson over Glover Quinn, I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, that was terrible. Dr. Trust has 6 to 8 wins is the bar for me, no matter the injuries. Yeah, we had a comment on the show during the week. Now I want to hear what you guys have to think about this comment. The person says six wins is not an improvement because we should have won 6 games last year. For losing those 3 games at the end, that 6 games is not an improvement. What do you guys think about 6 games not being an improvement for the Lions?
I think the bar has to be 7 for me. You have to get to 7 wins. If you only get 6, because if you look at the schedule, it's easier than last year. This is year 2. We got more weapons on offense. If you can't look, I feel like if you get 6 wins, that's not an improvement, in all honesty. I feel like that's awful. I will not be happy if they get 6 wins.
6 wins, okay.
To me, that you should be able to. If you can't get 6 wins this year, something's wrong.
Okay. Luke G?
I'm going to try not to rant.
Okay.
I'm going to try not to rant. I can't promise you nothing, but I'm going to try not to rant.
Okay.
The reality is that statement is 100% true. Okay. 6 wins is not good enough. 7 wins is not good enough. 6 wins is way too far from being close to 500. 8 wins at the minimum for me. I don't care what happens. They should have. I mean, barring that they don't have significant injuries at significant positions, but 8 wins should happen. You have to look at this thing in a context in which you say, hey, you have a much easier schedule. Most of the teams that you're playing are in shambles. Your toughest games that you're going to play are at home. And when you look at that, you're talking about having your tougher games be at home, you having an extra home game, you having an easier schedule against a lot of teams who are in the middle of their own rebuild, Jacksonville, the Vikings. Hell, if you look at your own division, you should be sweeping the Bears. You should be sweeping the Vikings. You might split with them, but you should be sweeping with them. You should be splitting with the Packers, and then you play the Panthers. And I don't care that they got Baker Mayfield. That's great. But at the end of the day, Matt Rule will be fired by then because he's not good. And you just keep going down the list. Seattle, You're going against Drew Lock, and that offensive line is not good. And I feel bad for Kenneth Walker because he's going to need a prayer to run through anything with that line. And so 8 wins have to be the minimum. This fan base perspective on this is too damn low. You know how the guy said the rent's too damn high? Well, the expectation is too damn low. You need to increase it. You need to increase it because there's no way you can look at this schedule. And this coming from a guy who said that they could easily win 9 games last year, right? And they were close in a lot of those games. They didn't pull them out. They were close. But I'm sitting here and I'm looking, and now we got an even easier schedule. You injected more talent into it. You spent money in all the areas that all the fans want. Everybody's excited about Hutchinson. Everybody's excited about Williams. Well, get excited about a better winning record because it's getting ridiculous when people are accepting 6 wins as the bar. That's not a winning formula. That's not an improvement. It's a joke. Well, it's a joke. The only time adding 3 inches to anything matters is you know where. And at the end of the day, no one gives a care. We're talking about a significant improvement. I don't want to hear, well, mathematically it's significant. To who? It's still a loser. It's a loser's record. We don't want to lose a record. I want to be closer to 500. I want to be closer to being in the playoffs. That's a significant improvement. I don't want to just see 6 wins and go, well, they got 3 more than they had. That's BS. They should have had more than 3 wins and more than 6 last year.
I think they should go and not lose a game this year because they got Malcolm Rodriguez. When you added Malcolm, Rodriguez
don't forget the great Malcolm. The Malcolm Rodriguez is going to reinvent the wheel.
Y'all killing me with their Malcolm Rodriguez.
Listen. Malcolm Rodriguez has got to be the most hyped up player on the Detroit Lions this year. I have never seen anything like this.
Yeah, he was our overrated player last week. Mike was
man. Rodriguez. I got told yesterday that he's way better than Nakobe Dean, and
wow. Okay, all right.
Okay,
nice.
Boy, the Kool-Aid is flowing. All right, the Kool-Aid is flowing great out here with the Lions fan. You know what though? I will say this, and I kind of you have to believe people are drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm not a big Kool-Aid drinker right now. I'm not a Debbie Downer, but I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker right now. You're just gonna have to be what it is. You know what I'm saying? Do I think that 6 is acceptable? No, I don't. Because what did I pick them? I picked them to win at least 7 games, 7 to 10 games. So 6 is not acceptable for me. Is it an improvement? It is mathematically wise, but I picked at least 7 wins for the season. That was my prediction, 7 to 10 wins. So I get what you guys are saying. I understand it. What you got, Maniac Tim? Do you think 6 wins is an improvement, or you want that 7 to 10 wins for the season for the Lions?
Anybody who knows me knows what I want, knows what I expect. Because, hey, if you keep the bar low and only try to achieve the bar, then you're going to get low achievements.
Oh,
I want 10 plus wins.
10
That's
plus
what
wins.
I want 10 plus wins. For me, the low bar is 10. Now, I'm not going to throw Dan under the bus if he doesn't get it, but you got to strive for winning the NFC North this year.
Okay.
Kick those
I'm throwing Dan ass under the bus, the train, the submarine, and everything else I can put him under if he only gets 6 wins. He's got to go.
I can understand that. I mean, yeah, because like you said, Luke, is that we have an easier schedule. We lost a lot of games just by a few points. So, and he is now a second-year coach, and we have made a lot of improvements. So these gotta turn into wins.
Okay.
I mean, take it a step further, though. Take it a step further, Tim. What else does Dan Campbell need to win now with? Like, what else is there left of him to get to win now?
Okay.
The only thing that I could see where, well, of course, execution is they got to execute. And they got to just, they can't take their foot up the gas. When they get going, they got to just keep their foot on that gas pedal and just rub the other team's face in the mud. I mean, that's the type of guy I am. All right.
Okay.
And then, now, where I would like to see a bit better is, in the corners. I mean, I would like. I mean, hopefully, Kuda can go ahead and really be that shutdown corner, but
it would never happen.
Yeah,
it would never happen. We got a better chance. We got a better chance of seeing a fictional moon pop up next to the moon to greet us when we wake up than we do him being a shutdown. It's never gonna happen.
Well, Chris Spielman better get him off his ass and make him do it, because Chris Spielman was also a former Ohio State player.
Okay. Yeah, but that's history though. Some things you just can't, some things you just can't fight with history. And I think Okudah unfairly was taken too high and unfairly given a label that he shouldn't have been given. But this fan base bought into it. It was all kind of A's floating around when we took him. So
yeah, it was. It was. All right, let's get into the next question for the day, man. All right, so we saw the big story last week. This week, we had 3 websites writing the same article about this. Sourcing another article saying that the Lions should trade Big V before the start of the season to save $7 million in cap or whatever it is. Yada yada yada. Okay, which player, if you could trade one guy on the Lions, what would you trade away from the team this offseason before the season starts? I'm going to go to you first, Micro Mike. One player you can get rid of right now. It's like, hey, you got to go. And we can pick up either a draft pick or another player for him. Who would you trade?
Tim Boyle. I'll trade Tim Boyle for some toilet paper.
Damn, did you think about it first, Mike? Did you take a second to think about it? Did you ponder on it?
He was thinking about that for weeks.
Yeah, he's like, Tim Boyle. Tim, you were still in the middle of your question, Tim. Wait, hold on, Mike. No, Tim Boyle. That's it.
I trade him. Hell, I'm consider giving us a draft pick to a team to get rid of this
guy. to give a draft pick away to trade him away.
I don't want to see no more interceptions, man.
That's bad. He's saying he'll trade a draft pick for nothing in return. Just to get rid of him.
He didn't even think about it. He was quick as he was like, hey, you could trade anybody. Tim Boyle. That guy.
Tim Boyle, that's the guy. All right. we got Maniac Tim, one guy you would trade away from this for the Lions before the season starts.
Alex Anzalone.
Shoot.
Yeah, he very underperformed.
Okay, yeah. Alex Anzalone.
You mean that the great Alex Anzalone? You want to get rid of the great Alex? Is it because of Malcolm Rodriguez? Is that what it is?
Is Malcolm your guy, Luke?
Malcolm Rodriguez would be starting quarterback, starting offensive line.
Hey, Malcolm Rodriguez is the iffy for everyone else except for Val, because Val iffy is everything. If he's the best quarterback, he's the best coach. He's the best lineman. But for everyone else, it's Malcolm Rodriguez. Malcolm Rodriguez is the end all be all for Lions players this year. All right, my man Luke G, what you got, man? Who would you trade away from this team before the season starts?
Jeff Okudah. I do not know why we insist on doing this experiment. This whole idea that he needs to, we want to see what he got. You saw it. It was only 10 games. It doesn't matter. You saw it. You've seen. I've had to argue with people who have seen DeAndre Swift play less games, be more convicted that he's not a every down carrying back. But they have so much faith that Okudah, who just suffered a horrific injury for a corner, is going to bounce back. To what? Getting burnt again by somebody we don't know? He got torched against the Panthers. He got torched against everybody he went against. Go and look at those games. When you look at it, he's in good position against the 49ers when he gave up that play. Really, because his head was facing the receiver. Not great position at all. So Okudah, to me, is the guy that I would trade if I had to. Why in the world all the media and fans want to keep getting rid of Big V like he's really doing some type of damage to the cap is beyond me. He is not hurting the cap at all.
At all.
I don't understand this. Why when the Lions finally get an offensive line, we want to blow the shit up because this is convenient for us to do? Why?
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. The guy had his best year last year. Guy had depends on what site you're looking at. He either had one penalty or two. He had one holding penalty, and I know he had illegal touching when we played the Rams. So that's two I can count for the season. But one holding penalty and no sacks given up the whole year, and you want to trade away this guy.
You know why? Because I told you our fan base, they have the memory of a goldfish. They'll take a snapshot of something, and that's what they remember. Like, they hate Jared Davis because he got beat by Ezekiel Elliott. Forget the fact it's a perfect pass and catch, but whatever. But when you look at it, they remember Big V as a tackle. And I told everybody he sucks at this because he's a guard. And if you move him to guard, he will be better. Now, people love to come and fact check me, but nobody came and tried to give me credit when I said, once you move him to guard, he'll be fine. He has been phenomenal at his true position of guard. Yep, and again, that cap hit that he's taking right now is nothing. It's nothing. You know, like Cat Williams say, it's nothing. It's nothing, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's so simple. And yet we have a fan base and media who wants to destroy the offensive line that's just been completed, the offensive line that hasn't even had a chance to play together yet. Yeah, let's just trade this guy because you know what? We can save $7 million. Well, trade Malcolm Rodriguez ass. Y'all so faithful that he's so great. Trade him. Right?
You could get a haul for him. We get like 10 first-round draft
picks. I know, right? I mean, listen, this guy right here is going not only – I've seen him outrun a bullet, okay? He has been something special. I mean, I'm just saying we're not even talking about getting rid of the right people, and it's irritating me because every article that I see, here are the players we should get from the UFFL and you should get for free agency. They're non-linebackers. Everybody wants a corner. Everybody wants another tackle. What the hell is wrong with people? I just don't get it.
No, I seen the article. It was 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, tackles, and a corner. Where the hell is a linebacker?
Right, we need a linebacker help bad.
Right.
Everybody wants a cornerback. We just get a corner. Oh, let's go. I got it. Let's go get this guy. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
I watched plenty of USFL football, and the linebacker play was not that great in the USFL.
Right.
So that's probably why no one suggested we get a linebacker for the USFL. The linebacker play was subpar. For me, who would I trade away from this roster before the season starts? It would have to be Coach Mike's favorite player, the Swiss Army knife in the secondary, Will Harris. Trade him away for a bag of Skittles, some Funyuns, and a Faygo Red Pop. I would get rid of that dude, man. Yeah, I just was never convinced that Will Harris was a NFL safety. I don't understand how you can play safety better than you do corner. It usually goes the other way around. Guy starts off a corner and goes to safety, not the other way around. But I don't understand how you can cover in man coverage, but you can't play safety. It boggles my mind with that guy.
You know what boggles me more?
What's that?
How in the hell was he doing better as a corner than Okuda, who was supposed to be the shutdown corner, and we took him 3rd overall?
Yeah, true that. All right, let's get into some. Before we get into the comments, man, hey, man, if you need yourself some Lions gear, going over to Fanatics.com, listen in the description below. I'm rocking the cap. This is a couple years ago, the Salute the Service cap that came out a couple years ago. I get all my Lions gear from over there at Fanatics.com. So click the link in the description below. The reason being why I live in the South and I just don't get as much Lions gear down here in North Carolina that y'all get up there in Michigan. So what do? I go to Fanatics.com and go ahead and cop myself some Lions gear right there on the site. I get my Tigers gear over there, my Red Wings gear, all the gear from my favorite teams, my Michigan gear right there on Fanatics.com. So go ahead, click the link in the description, and a small portion of the proceeds from that link go to help us grow the content on this channel. If you want to get yourself some Lions Nation Unite gear, because I'm rocking that Respect the Roar shirt right here. You see the camo, baby. Go on over to lnushop.com, get yourself some gear right there. They help us bring in this content over there at Lions Nation Unite. So if you want to check it out, you want to be part of one of the best apps for Lions fans, go on over to lnu.com. You can go to Lions Nation Unite. You can go to your Apple, Android, or Google app stores and go ahead and download the app, Lions Nation Unite. You know what I say it is. It's the ultimate virtual hangout for Detroit Lions fans. And to get yourself some Proud Nation gear, go on over to LionsOnTheProudShop.com. Get yourself some gear, man. We got all our shirts over there, and it will be migrating here in the future over there to LNU shop. So go over to Lions on the Prowl shop and get yourself some Prowl Nation gear. Okay, let's get into some of these comments because man, it's a whole bunch of nice comments over here. We got Granzier said if Cleveland got a fifth for Baker Mayfield, then realistically could the Lions get for Okudah at 6 or a 7? Man, if we got a good equipment manager, I'll be good with that. We got a guy who can hand out helmets and mouthpieces and mouth guards and towels and all kind of stuff. If we can get one of those guys for Jeff Okudah, I'll take that. I'm just saying. I mean,
but listen, let's be honest. If you get anything for Okudah, to me, that's a damn win. A guy who's played 10 games, coming off an Achilles injury, and you got something for him, that's a win. That's a win for me. What are you going to get from him besides a bag of chips and maybe a smile? Because that motherfucker act like he's so frustrated he can't do it. I mean, God forbid he's put a smile on his face. But if I was him, I ain't had no smile about neither. I'm getting torched every time I turn my head. You know, he's so out of position. This idea that he's not a safety, he's a corner, is just delusional. The fans who push this narrative are delusional. This dude is not a corner. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Michael Huck, Mr. Reliable himself, just back from his quick trip to Europe, says all players combined by the panel wouldn't garner a sack of White Castles in a trade. Damn, we couldn't get some White Castles and some fries for these guys. Okay, damn, that's rough. All right, well, man, Joseph Murdoch, you know what I'm saying. While I talk about the talent on the offensive line, why would we be belittling the backups so much, Mike? The OC has touted as being pretty confident. I'm sure that they believe the quarterbacks. They have belief in the quarterbacks.
They can believe in it. If they could believe in the quarterbacks all they want, but Tim Boyle has proven last year that he throws the interceptions. Clearly, you haven't been watching OTAs and minicamp where he's throwing more interceptions than completions, taking his helmet and throwing it because he's been absolutely awful. And the fact that David Blau has taken reps at number 2. So, hey, you can drink the Tim Boyle Kool-Aid. You can go ahead and expect him, if Jared Goff goes down, to take over the reins and win us football games. But I think that ship sailed.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, here's this interesting comment. You can trade Okudah for a solid linebacker. Who the hell is
let the church say yes? Amen.
Okay. Who would take Jeff Okudah for a linebacker, though? Who would give up a solid linebacker for Jeff Okudah?
I don't care who the linebacker is. Hell, if you the linebacker, I'm taking it. You know why? Because it can't be any worse than what we're going to get out of Okudah, and we need some depth, some real depth at the linebacker position. I don't really care who it is.
Okay, I feel you. All right.
You think we can trade Okudah and bring back Jamie Collins? I'll take Jamie Collins' lazy ass over Okudah at this point.
Man, that's Mr. Tim Hortons himself, Starbucks man, Dunkin' Donuts.
I'm just saying, man. Listen, at this point, they need to interject some more youth in depth for the linebacker position. And Okudah, to me, I expect him to have an improved year. But it's not hard when you've been to the floor. So getting up don't mean you succeeded so much. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Kazoo Ninja says, I've said for years the NFL story is driven by what bigger story is in football than the first big win for Detroit. That would be a huge story for the NFL. Do I think that they'll tell that story this season? Yet to be seen. I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's been a kind of a give and take with the Lions this year in the NFL. You give them hard knocks, but you don't give them any primetime games, right? So, like, it's kind of like, okay, and then you get the Vegas with the, okay, Dan Campbell's is one of the top 5 candidates to be coach of the year, but he's also the top 5 candidate to be fired this year. It's just like, it's just a whole bunch of in the middle type of stuff right now. And I don't know if the NFL will let that story be told this year. Just to be honest with you. All right. After reading a lot of comments on national videos, I have to agree with you, Nicole. No one hates the Lions. In fact, outside of the division, most people root for them. Live in the South, and I take a lot of shit out here. A lot of shit on Lions fans. I don't know if they don't. I don't know if they root for the Lions. We get crapped on a lot. Definitely, I don't know if they root for us, but I don't know if they hate us.
Have you seen the new Madden commercial? So in the new Madden commercial, I was paying close attention, right? And I know that there was a big thing where there were people who was like, basically like, man, we're going to boycott Madden if they keep showing every freaking highlight of a Lions player getting done dirty in their gameplay. So what they did this time is they showed St. Brown getting a touchdown. They show Ada Hutchinson getting a sack. They show what's the TJ Hawkinson getting hit, but it was so quick, if you blink, you missed it. Mm-hmm. And they changed that narrative for a reason, because people were getting tired of seeing Lions in the highlights. I think people root for us in the division out of sympathy. Like they so empathetic with what we going through. It's just like, hey, shit. Like I get it, you know.
To be honest, I've noticed the same thing when you have a highlight kind of a package and you have it as a commercial for the NFL. Most times when you see that and you see them highlighting the player, the team that they're playing against or they whooping up on is Detroit. I've seen that so many times where you see this commercial for, say, Sunday Ticket or the NFL Network, and they're showing, oh, the season's coming, and you see all these people making big plays, and they usually making them on the Lions. But hopefully we can get Aaron Glenn and those guys can turn that narrative around with in Detroit, and stop pushing that. I mean, the only way to stop a negative narrative about your team is to win. To be honest with you, right? That's the only way that the Lions can end this kind of misery, with being the really the team that's being stepped on by the league. With being the running joke, is to start winning. And you look at the Browns; they're not the butt of the joke anymore. But I mean, if we can start winning, then that will cure a lot of that stuff right now. All right, next question we got. After the O-line, because I think everyone knows that's the biggest strength for the Lions. What is the strength for the Lions besides the offensive line? What you got, Maniac Tim?
Okay, I gotta go with the receiving core. I think with who we have added was Shark. Of course, St. Brown being healthy. There's no reason why those numbers can't go up and change to wins.
Okay. Wide receiver core. What you got, Mike?
I would have to say the wide receiver core as well. I really like what they did there with the depth. Jameson Williams, DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds. That four right there. Cephas, really freaking good. Love what they did there last year. Absolutely awful. This year, much improved. You're going to see a offense, I think, that it's going to score a lot of points this year. And with a really good offensive line, getting Jared Goff time, a lot of good things going to happen. Okay.
I feel you on that. Luke G, what you got, man? Biggest
Do I got to pick a position? Do I got to pick a position?
No.
Yeah, I'm going coaching, because to me, that's where it's going to start and end at. And with the new scheme coming in play, Aaron Glenn is getting ready to either earn himself a legitimate head coaching position or getting ready to lose it. Either way it go, it starts there. And so for me, the offensive line is great. The praise should be there for it. The receiver core is a good one. I'm not, we're not gonna see one of them until November, but that's okay. Overall, to me, it's the coaching.
I'm going to say, I think the coaching staff is probably the biggest strength as well. You look at what they got out of the guys last year, playing a lot of backups, just to fight. It was the record indicative of, it wasn't, we didn't have a great winning record, but the team fought and played hard, they were in a lot of games last year where they shouldn't have been, or they were just competing the whole season. They never laid down, and they played to the whistle all year long. And that's my coaching. My thing is the coaching staff as well. I think if there's one of the biggest strengths of this team going on right now. Real quick into the next question before we kind of get back to the comments. All right, name a player that will have a surprisingly productive season for the Lions this year. Who's going to shock the world and come out and ball this season? What you got, Micro Mike? Who is going to be a surprisingly productive player this year for the Lions?
Ooh, how about Chris Board, linebacker? You know, we're hearing a lot in training, in minicamp and OTAs that he's kind of taken over a little bit at linebacker right now. I feel like that's our weakest position. He's going to come in, do a good job for the Lions, and it's going to be a little bit of a shock because you don't really hear a whole lot about him. We need help at that position. Maybe he could be a veteran that could spark a little bit for.
Okay, I feel you on that one. Maniac Tim, what you got? Who's going to be a surprisingly productive player for the Lions?
I know I'm going to get some BS from Luke G, but a healthy Jeff Okudah.
Healthy Jeff.
You ain't gonna get that. Listen, the moment you put a caveat in there, you ain't gonna get no heat from me. He put a caveat in there. A healthy. That's the key word. Yeah, Jeff Okudah.
Okay. Luke G, a surprisingly productive season from what Lions player this year?
Jared Davis. I think when I said I think he might be our best linebacker, I wasn't joking, because I think the way that he's going to be used is going to allow for him to just run on reaction versus having to do all the extra thinking he was put under the former head coach who almost made him want to quit. And if Jared Davis gets cut, then great, he got cut. I get it, but I would be surprised for them to cut him, unless he just still hurt. With that linebacker room, I feel like every linebacker we have is replaceable, with the exception of Derek Barnes. And Derek Barnes, if he doesn't perform, huh?
What do you think's our weakest position?
Linebacker.
Oh, seriously? I'm getting told that it's not linebacker. It's a strong suit for Lions.
That's what you been told?
Yeah.
No. Like, if you were to go through right now, right? Like I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but like if you were to go through and you were to attempt to rank our linebackers in the top 25, good luck.
Yeah,
you'd be hard pressed to pull one out.
Yeah,
because I mean, do top 32. I don't think you can do. I don't think you can put a Lions linebacker on this roster in the top 32.
That'd be tough. That'd be a tough deal.
It's tough.
It'd be a tough deal. Because you can stick a Monte Rourier in that, the top half of the cornerbacks in the league. You can stick Tracy Walker up there as well in that top 20 of safeties in the league. You can stick Aleem McNeil, even though he's young, you can stick him in the top, say, 25 of the interior defensive linemen. But to say one of the Lions linebackers is in the top 30. Let alone, top 30, top 32. Yeah, I would be hard pressed to find.
It would be difficult.
A guy. It'd be really, really hard.
The only reason I did not list safety was because they were at least exploring Iffy at safety, and I don't think Elliott is going to make it through the season. But the idea of having Iffy there, and I do like Brady Breeze in small spurts, like not full time, but in small spurts. Iffy is the only reason I was like, okay, I can. But the linebackers, I'm good grief.
Yeah. Who would you get to fix them now? I mean, who could we bring in to fix them?
Really, at this point, you're bringing in somebody who is going to have a high ceiling for potential at that point, because you're hoping that they are able to make plays. The people that I wanted, we didn't go out and get. I wanted Nawazu from the Chargers, and
I did too.
And I wanted a few other linebackers that I thought we would look at in the draft and outside of it in free agency, and we didn't. So essentially, what's going to happen is, and I think people will start to see it and realize it, is when you start seeing those cuts come down throughout the weeks and getting closer to that 53-man roster, we'll find our linebacker then.
Okay, I think we're going to find it next year's draft. I think they're really going to address it early, and it's going to be much improved. I think that's the best way to really build this roster through the draft. Done a good job the first 2 years. I think year 3, you're going to see the Lions address it early, and it could be with one of those first-round picks. Throw a linebacker in there, and then you have Derek Barnes. You have year 2 of Malcolm, the stud Rodriguez, and then you'd have a rookie in there, and I think that'd be pretty good.
Could be. Yeah. Could be. Let's kind of get back. What you got, Tim?
Okay.
Go ahead.
I got a question. Do you guys think, and I really think I know the answer, but do you think that the hard salary cap that we got in the NFL is a disadvantage to teams that are trying to grow? Because you got overpay free agents to come
if
here.
if you look at I think for the Lions I don't think the salary cap is because it's a problem when you overpay players like we did in the last regime. But that's the issue. That's the issue with Detroit. We had some bad contracts. If you look at the numbers the guys that we still have on the books from the last regime, the Jamie Collins and the Trey Flowers deal, and we overpaid some guys.
Don't forget Rick Wagner. That mother. Oh my God. So
we still have a few guys that still left on the books, but I think our salary cap will be better next year. I will tell you what's going to fix our salary cap next year for the Lions, and it's not dumping players or cutting guys. It's the new TV deal for NFL Sunday Ticket. It is going to be phenomenal. Because you got to remember the team split that TV money, and right now you have billionaire companies that are bidding for this. I think the 3 highest bidders right now are Amazon, Apple, and Disney are bidding for that TV money, and we're talking about up over $3 billion. What they're going to be signing for that contract for NFL Sunday Ticket. So that's going to affect the salary cap for the Lions coming up. And once winning, to me, I don't think it's a salary cap. I think winning cures a lot of stuff. Winning attracts players.
Right.
I mean, it attracts players, it attracts fans. So think about this. Nobody was trying to go to Cleveland a few years ago, and look what they did in the free agency last year, and in the offseason, the last couple of years. So winning is the cure for
I think another aspect is the quarterback position is destroying salary cap. It's becoming ridiculous where they're about 40% of a roster. I think that I know I heard an idea. I don't know who commented it. Somebody said, why don't they do a salary cap specifically just for quarterback? Then the rest of the team has their own. Something like that should be a possibility because you have a quarterback and then you have to pay 60% of the rest of your roster. And it's really difficult to do so. So I think that's a big issue.
And wide receivers getting up there too. Some of these deals that we were hearing on wide receivers were like.
Thank you, Jacksonville. I blame Jacksonville because that Christian Kirk deal set a whole bunch of things in motion. Gee, would y'all agree with that? Like that Christian Kirk deal put
terrible deal.
Wide receiver. That I was like, this guy was like the 3rd best wide receiver on. He wasn't even the 3rd best wide receiver on Arizona, and he got a huge contract from Jacksonville. What do you think about that, Luke G? I think they missed it. They're the reason.
I think Jacksonville been playing mind games with us the entire time. Shoot, you go out, you take the guy that nobody was talking about first overall. You gave out money to every damn. But I mean, Jacksonville has been playing with us the whole time. Y'all just ain't been paying attention to the comedy show that they've been putting on for us, and they just wanted us to know that they here. And if they're not going to be relevant, they at least can be funny. And I think that's a great thing for Jacksonville.
Yeah. That Christian Kirk deal, I don't know what.
That was insane.
I was like, this guy got that much money? And after that, you saw wide receivers just backing up their Brinks trucks all over the league. I mean, they was getting paid. I mean, they were getting traded and getting paid. I mean, you think about after the Christian Kirk, you had Devontae Adams, and then you had the Cheetah get his money down there in Miami, and then even right after the draft, you had AJ Brown going and getting his money in Philly. So, yeah, the wide receiver market is booming right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's a passing league. Dan Spano says they were nuts. They were nuts to pay Kirk that money. Yeah, I was like, this guy's a return specialist. This guy that's money. I'm like, that is crazy. That is bananas. I never understood that Christian Kirk deal, but hey, man, I ain't never. Hey, get your money how you can get it.
Yeah. Hey, you can't blame the players. I mean, if the owners are dumb enough to do it, you know.
I see in the comment section they're talking about how linebackers not important for a defense. Actually, linebackers are one of the most important part to a defense position. They're responsible for communicating the play call, stopping the run, as well as playing the pass. Linebacker position is a versatile position. It requires playing both big and athletic. Having a linebacker or linebackers plural is important towards the success of a defense. I think, Luke, didn't you play linebacker in college? The importance of it. The
linebacker position is beyond important. And the thing about it is this, the idea that, who's a dominating linebacker, just look at the teams who were winning. They were able to help stop the run. They were able to fill gaps and make people bounce it out. And the reality is that there are all these narratives that are going to be pushed. I mean, I don't mind the narratives, but, as a person who watched them games way too damn closely and spent money to see them games, I can assure you that the linebacker play was horrible and it pissed me off on so many levels. I think the game against Green Bay, everybody was blaming Jared Goff, and I was like, no, let's talk about Jamie Collins. I think I spent 45 minutes of just showing him just being lazy, didn't care, and they were able to run the ball willingly. When you have poor linebacking play, the run is alive and well. I don't care how good your D-line is. The D-line going to take up space, but the linebackers are what scrapes and fill those gaps in those little spaces that those running backs are looking to get light through. Yeah. But if you believe that our linebacking core is strong, then I don't knock you for it. The game got to still be played. Yeah. Make no mistake. I made this statement before that we are having the same problems going into this year that we had going into the draft, which were linebacker and safety. But when I look at this grand scheme, they've been able to move people around to suit that safety spot, and the linebacker spot, I can't say that.
Right. And the linebacker is your quarterback on your defense. They're calling out the offensive line. The green dot on the defense is usually at linebacker. Every so often you may see a safety with the green dot, but most likely 9 times out of 10, it will be your linebacker is your quarterback of your defense. He's getting everyone aligned, all the defensive linemen are aligned correctly. He's calling out the coverages and everything like that. So why would not your linebacker be one of the most important parts of your defense? I don't understand that. All right, last question for the panel today. All right. Now, I've been thought about this question for a reason, because we're coming up on the season, it's getting closer. What game this season do you think the Lions can shock the world and win versus a tough opponent? So I'm gonna go to you first, Maniac Tim. We got some tough games. Some of these games, not all of them are easy. A tough game. What Lions game? What Lion team can the Lions just go ahead and beat and shock the world?
Miami.
So if you saying damn you, then Mike is your pick too. Miami.
Oh,
was that going to be your choice, Miami as well?
Yeah, definitely Miami. I think they're a scary team and they got a lot of speed. The Detroit Lions, I think it's going to be a back and forth game, and it's at home in Detroit. And, right now, the odds of the Lions are to lose this game. Matter of fact, we're only supposed to win 4 games, according to Vegas right now. And I think the Lions can pull off the win in an upset.
Okay. Luke G, what you got? What team?
It's only one game that they can surprise and shock the world with, and that's beat Buffalo on Thanksgiving. It's the only goddamn game that can shock anybody. You want to be shocked? Beat Buffalo on Thanksgiving. You thought people were shocked when we beat the Cardinals. Wait till if they beat the Bills on Thanksgiving. First of all, there ain't gonna be a full belly that ain't gonna need a little bit more beer or alcohol to celebrate that one. It's the only one.
That's the only one.
It's the only one that can. What other game can really be shocking outside of beating Buffalo, a team that people think is going to the Super Bowl on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that'll be a shocking win. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say the Cowboys this year. With all of their noise they make about Dak Prescott and all those guys, and Ezekiel Elliott's retransformed his body, but that defense is still a little bit lacking. I think we can take advantage of that and beat the Cowboys on that TV. Even though it's going to be because it's going to be one of those games that's going to be played wide because we're playing Dallas in Dallas, so it's going to be one of those games that's going to be played everywhere. So that's my game, is the Dallas Cowboys taking them on and beating them in Dallas. All right, let's get to a couple more comments here before we get out of here. Sorry we couldn't get to everyone's comments today. Man, you guys had a lot. So he says, Miami, are you serious? That's a pepperoni. Yes. Actually, they had one of the better off seasons in the league. Miami is projected to be one of the top teams in the AFC East. So yeah, I do. Miami's they ain't no joke. You look at the moves they made, adding the weapons on offense and defense. Yeah. All right, got up in late. 6 says Philadelphia, first game of the season. Boy, that will be a thing because they took us to they took us to the woodshed. That's the only game I really just walked away from the TV last year and was like, screw that. I turned that game off last year. Yeah, that was bad.
I remember still back when Philadelphia beat the Lions when Scott Mitchell was quarterback, and we made it into the playoffs, and Philadelphia handed it to us. So that would be some sweet revenge to kick their butts.
Man,
we have had a lot. We have had a lot.
He said Scott Mitchell was the quarterback, man, dude. Some of these people that's Lions fans right now don't even know who Scott Mitchell is.
Every time I hear the name Scott Mitchell, I feel like Bruce Banner getting ready to rage out into my alter ego. I forget. That's one guy. I don't care what nobody say. I'll forever hate him as a player and a human being.
Okay, man. With all that being said, thank you guys for joining us today for a Free for All Friday right here on Detroit Lions of the Proud, man. We really appreciate it. Now it's time for final thoughts, man, before we go ahead and get out of here. Maniac Tim, give the crowd and let them know where they can find you on YouTube, man.
Okay, it's actually Tim's Maniac Sports on YouTube. Okay. Best way to get it is like through the link, because if you just look it up, you don't see me, but just get it through a link. The link is on Lions on the Prowl Facebook.
Okay. All right. And then give me your final thoughts. And what's your final thoughts for today's show?
Okay, my final thoughts is keep your bar high, 10 wins or better.
Okay, Micro Mike, my man, my LNU stable mate, my man. Give us your final thoughts for today's show.
Hey, great show. Appreciate everyone showing up. Training camp is a couple weeks away. I will be there with Everything King and Dosa Dion. We're going to have a really fun time. Also, Detroit Lions podcast will be with those guys. So show up to training camp. I'll be there, and subscribe to Tim's Maniac channel. Got to subscribe to it.
Yeah, man. Big things. All right, man. Before I give it over to Luke G, man, thank you all for joining us right here on Detroit Lions on the Proud for People on Friday. Again, shout out to the Queen, Valerie Bordeaux. She's not feeling well today, so she's a little under the weather, so that's why she didn't join us today. But feel better soon, Val, and we love you right here on the show. For my final thoughts for today's show is just be careful of the Kool-Aid you're drinking. You know what I'm saying? Because every Kool-Aid isn't sweetened with sugar. So just make sure you drink, you be careful of the Kool-Aid you're drinking. So just look at it objectively and kind of really step back. And like my man Luke G always says, man, if you think you hype on a guy, do your research with open mind and open eyes to see what the real deal is before you really jump on it. So forbid knowledge. I see you in the chat, man. You know what I'm saying? And no dessert with Kurt. We don't do that on Free for All Friday, but we appreciate your Grand Zir. But if you want to check out Delightful Bites, go on over to her Facebook page. It's in the description below. Hang out with her over there, man. She has some great desserts. If you want to get some tasty treats, go on over and order some at delightfulbites18@gmail.com. But thank you again for everyone for joining us today, man. We appreciate it. And shout out to my man. I sat down with Eric Schlitt yesterday, and that article will be coming out soon. I will be writing it, and we'll be revamping our website over at DetroitLionsOnTheProwl.com, and we putting some fresh content out over there, some new articles. But now it is time for my man, the myth, the legend, Luke G, to bless us with his final thoughts for today's show.
Hey, this is so much fun. I was glad to be back and get in on this one. I was really pressing to make this happen, so I'm excited for that. But y'all know me, I can't never end a show unless we end it on a positive note, and this is coming simply from me. Stop chasing dreams. I'm gonna say that again. Stop chasing dreams. It's funny because I had to come to this conclusion myself. Everything that I ever chased, I never asked myself, why am I chasing what don't want to be caught? Some things need to come to you that are for you. And when you put yourself in positions and do the work, the dreams don't have to be chased. They come to you. When you feel like you're supposed to get more money and the job that you are at ain't working out the way you want, and you get to go and applying to a bunch of different jobs, having all these different interviews, if you just took the time to be patient and wait on the job that is best suited for you, you don't have to chase it. Stop chasing those dreams. Let them come to you. Do the work and be prepared to accept it when it comes to you. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't do nothing else, you better hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and you got to hit that comment. You got to comment down here because we want to hear what you're saying and what you think. I know y'all think I'm batshit crazy. It's probably true. So just make sure you show love and support. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research.
Hey, man. Hey, thank you again for everyone for joining us today on here, Free for All Friday for Detroit Lions on the Prowl. You know what you guys do for your boy, Kurt Steele. Hey, if you eat lunch today, right now at your desk, man, you try to get back to work, go ahead, wipe them crumbs off your face, man. Finish your drink and get back to work, baby. And whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For the panel, this is Kurt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon. We love you, Jim.